The glories of the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita from the Padma Purana. Lord Shiva said, I will recite the wonderful glories of the 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita before you, dear Parvati. In the south, there is an important holy place by the name of Kolhapur, where the temple of the Lord's divine consort Mahalakshmi is situated. Mahalakshmi is continuously worshipped by all of the demigods. That place is the fulfiller of all desires. Rudra Gaya is also situated there. One day, one young prince arrived there. His body was the color of gold. His eyes were very beautiful. His shoulders were very strong and his chest was broad. His arms were long and strong. When he arrived in Kolhapur, he first went to the lake known as Mani Kant Tirtha, where he took bath and offered worship to his ancestors. And then he went to the temple of Mahalakshmi, where he offered his obeisances and then started to pray. O Devi, whose heart is full of mercy, who is worshipped throughout the three worlds and is the giver of all fortune and the mother of creation, all glories to you. O shelter of all living entities, O fulfiller of all desires, you are the wonderful energy of Lord Achyuta, who is maintaining the three worlds. You are the supreme goddess. O protector of the devotees, all glories to you. O Devi, it is you who fulfills the desires of the devotees, and it is you who engages them in the service of Lord Achyuta. You are eternal and deliverer of the fallen souls. All glories unto you, O Devi, for the welfare and protection of the three worlds. You take on many forms such as Ambika, Brahmi, Vaishnavi, Maheshwari, Varahi, Mahalakshmi, Narsimhi, Indri, Kumari, Chandrika, Lakshmi, Savitri, Chandrakala, Rohini, Parmeshwari. All glories unto you, whose glories are unlimited. Kindly be merciful upon me. When Mahalakshmi heard those prayers, she became very pleased and said to the prince, O prince, I am very happy with you. Please request any benediction according to your heart's desire from me. That prince said, O mother of the three worlds, my father King Bharadrati was performing the famous sacrifice known as Ashwamedha. But before having completed that yagna, he died due to disease. And before I was able to complete that yagna, someone stole the horse that had traveled all over the world and had been purified for sacrifice in that Ashwamedha. I sent persons in all directions in search of that horse, but they were unable to find it. Then I took permission from the priest to come and pray for your help. And if you are pleased with me, then kindly let me know how I can get back that horse and complete the fire sacrifice and thus fulfill my father's desire. Mahalakshmi said, O noble prince, by the gate of my temple, one highly elevated Brahmana lives who is known by the name of Siddha Samadhi. He will be able to fulfill your desire. When the prince heard these words of Mahalakshmi, he went to the place where Siddha Samadhi lived and offered obeisances to him. After having offered obeisances, he stood before Siddha Samadhi silently with folded hands. Siddha Samadhi then said, You have been sent here by Mother Mahalakshmi, so I will fulfill your desire. Then chanting some mantras, Siddha Samadhi brought all other demigods before him. The prince at that time saw all the demigods standing before Siddha Samadhi, awaiting his instructions. Then Siddha Samadhi said to those demigods, O Devas, this prince's horse which he had kept ready for his sacrifice was stolen at night by Lord Indra. Kindly bring that horse back now. Immediately, those demigods brought that horse before him. After which, Siddha Samadhi dismissed them. When the prince saw all these wonderful happenings, he fell at the feet of Siddha Samadhi and inquired from him, "How have you attained such power, which I have not seen or heard of anyone else possessing? O great sage, kindly hear my request. My father, King Brihadrathi, while beginning the Ashwamedha sacrifice, died unexpectedly, and thus I kept his body in pure boiled oil. Kindly, if you desire, please bring him back to life." Hearing this, Siddha Samadhi gave a little chuckle and said, "Let us go to that place where you have kept your father's body." When they reached that place, Siddha Samadhi took some water in his hand, and while chanting some mantras, he sprinkled the water onto the head of the dead body of King Brihadrathi. As soon as the water touched his head, the king sat up and inquired from Siddha Samadhi, "O great devotee, who are you?" The prince immediately informed his father of all the events which had taken place. When the king heard that narration, he again and again offered his obeisances to Siddha Samadhi and inquired from him what austerities he had performed to attain such divine powers. Hearing the king's inquiry, Siddha Samadhi replied, "My dear King Brihadrathi, daily I recite the 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita." Hearing those words of that great devotee, the king learned from Siddha Samadhi the 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the course of time, both the king and his son attained the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Many other persons have achieved the topmost goal, devotion to Lord Krishna's lotus feet, by reciting the 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita daily. Thus ends the glories of the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita from the Padma Purana.